Welcome, friends, to Tippy Top with a few good friends. I'm one of those good friends, Simon. I'm also joined by other good friends that you have.
I'm another good friend, Dana.
I'm the other good friend, Amon.
Yeah, we're here. We're back.
We're here.
In action from outer space.
It was super cool going to space, y'all.
Yeah, I really liked it. All the emptiness and the void. Yeah, it was great.
Y'all went to space?
Quiet. Yeah, you were there. Remember?
Can we just get a yes and from you?
No, I don't remember.
You're the worst improviser.
That's great. So we would call that like a sort of narrative failure, which goes with our topic for today, which is our top failures.
Yes.
Of all time.
Not just
ours.
Not
though.
just
Yeah,
ours.
top fails.
Yeah, not necessarily personal failures, but just the general like world existence, extant like failures. Is what we're going to be listing out our tops for. We're going to have some news. Perhaps Amon has assured us he has a very good article that is relevant and effective to our lives.
It does scare me.
Effective. Maybe not the word I would use.
Affecting in our lives.
It could possibly affect us if we so choose. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it could become a bad thing if we don't moderate ourselves.
So I'm gonna let me start off with this one because it sort of it encompasses a lot of types of failure, right? And I sort of like gave it this moniker of all the failures we don't see, right? And what I mean by that is sort of all of the famous people, all of the rich people, all of the powerful people, all like the incredibly talented people who just failed relentlessly for years upon years upon years, and in so many different ways that you don't ever read about, you don't ever see, and you don't know. You're not taught about people's failures. You're taught about their greatest achievements and why they're such great people and all the things they've done. But there's so much you don't see, and there's so many failures you don't see. And I brought a few examples because I remember this quote. First one's like from Michael Jordan, right? Who's like the most like accomplished, basketball player, like like everyone knows who he is. Even kids today know who he is. Like he's a legend, right? But he gave this quote once, which has sort of stuck with me. He says, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game's winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Powerful stuff, Mike.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
MJ,
for that.
23.
Yeah, but I just think that goes along with like that's not someone when you think of Michael Jordan, you don't think about failure. You think about how freaking dope he is and like his cool shoes and his good jumps and all that sort of stuff.
And being like one of the best basketball players of all time.
Yeah, you don't think about him like taking the final shot and just like throw it up some nasty brick. You know what I mean?
No, but when he did try to play baseball, it was pretty.
That man, I freaking had all of his baseball cards.
Did you really?
Yes. I used to love baseball cards. Anyway, along that same line, though, I picked out Van Gogh because an interesting fact about him that I did not know, he only sold one painting in his lifetime. He only ever sold one painting.
I know that he wasn't popular at his time.
Right.
No, he wasn't.
But he considered himself a horrible failure, which is why he committed suicide.
Right.
There's a Doctor Who episode about that.
Oh.
They like bring him back from the past into the future and see, like, they show him like, here's his exhibits, and there's like a museum curator who's like, oh, Van Gogh was the greatest painter of all time, and they just show him and he's just like crying, but then he still committed suicide. It was weird.
Can't break the time loop, dude.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Man, I read this crazy theory online about Back to the Future 2, in which Marty McFly actually dies like several times over, right?
In that one movie?
Yeah. So it's a fan theory, right? But the theory goes, in the scene where Biff is chasing him down in the car and through the tunnel, right? And then Doc comes in and rescues him, basically pulls him out of the back of the car. The fan theory is that Biff actually ran him down in an alternate timeline, right? And that's how Doc knew where he was and that he needed help and to come and save him.
Oh, that's right. Amon's never seen Back to the Future.
Yeah, unpopular opinion. I've never seen those
That's
movies.
not an unpopular opinion. That's just
Unpopular opinion. I
dumb
said it.
thing.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it says the girl hasn't seen like any movies.
Well, that's crazy. I love fan theories like that, though.
I
in
do, too.
movies.
Yep. The last person, funny transition, I was reading about it because I was reading about, I was telling you all about this yesterday, but about some of Stephen King's works. Turns out Stephen King was also like a profound failure. If you read his book on writing, which is an incredible read, and I would recommend it to anyone, he talks about how much he's failed and how many times he's been rejected and all that sort of stuff. And he grew up impoverished and, you know, having like terrible nightmares and, you know, being completely paranoid and having all these mental issues and all that sort of stuff, and how he just channeled all of that into his writing and his pursuit of his craft and all that stuff. And that's why he's so successable today. And
That gives me hope.
yeah, doesn't it? Doesn't it? All that failure you don't see, right? That's why I just wanted to I would put that at the top. Like all the failure you don't see, all the successful people who
What was the
who
quote by
fail.
Van Gogh? You never said it.
Oh,
We went off on a tangent.
yeah, sorry about that.
No, that tends to happen.
Oh, well, so he only sold one painting ever and then went on to become, you know, this great post-impressionist like influence and all that sort of stuff. But his quote was, "If you hear a voice in your head that tells you not to paint, then surely you should paint," which is like pretty cool. And then the voice is silenced.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Actually, it's really cool.
It's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
Super cool.
So yeah, that's number one on my list. Who's next? Amon's next. Go, Amon.
I'm next.
You're next. Go.
Okay. Mine is a architectural fail.
Ooh.
It is known for being a failure and is probably way more popular now because it is a failure.
Oh, I think I can guess it. Maybe.
Would you like to guess?
I would.
Yeah.
The Leaning Tower of Pisa.
It is the Leaning
Nice.
Tower of Pisa.
Yeah, I forget that that's actually like a fail.
It
Isn't
took 77 years to build, and it only started
What?
leaning
It took
after.
77 years to build.
And it only
crazy.
started leaning after the first 10 years of it being up.
It took 77 years.
Yeah, that's bananas.
That's a fail.
Yeah.
That's a complete fail.
So they were still building. So they built it for 67 more years after it started to lean.
No. Like after it was completed, they're like,
Oh, okay.
77 years.
I thought you said
My
like,
life's work, literally.
they would just go
And then
back
within
on the
like that
anniversary.
first 10 years, it was like, does it seem a little crooked to you?
Like,
Does it-
it's fine.
Is it still leaning? Like, is it still like actively?
Yeah, actually, I remember I was in, I want to say elementary or middle school. I remember seeing like news articles about them having to like brace it because it was leaning too much. And even that was like causing, because
some
they were
point-
trying to like push it back, I guess.
Just one guy
you know,
with
like,
like
oh,
a broom.
technology. Now we can like make
Fix it.
Yeah, and it was like, no, you can't. You can try, but it'll probably make it worse. And so they like
crazy.
left it.
Is it just like the foundation, or did something break?
I think it's the foundation. I think it's where it's like sitting.
There's got to be some point where they're just like, yo, we gotta let this thing fall.
You can't. But see, the
Like-
thing is like it's so old. Like it's old historical architecture. Things aren't built like that. You can't recreate it now. It wouldn't be the same. It would be like trying to copy a Van Gogh painting. You
Yeah.
know, like yes, could it be done? Would it be original? No. So it's like you don't want to lose that. And if they did let it fall, it would definitely take damage. And structurally, probably wouldn't be
Take
able to
fall
put
damage.
fall damage.
Would you want to be on it, like on the opposite side, surfing it down
Yeah,
as it
for sure.
falls?
No.
What is it made out of? Does anybody know?
Rocks.
Stone,
Cool.
marble, I don't know,
Probably.
one of those things.
I mean, because like I don't know. I just
I mean, I can look it up, but
why
I don't,
is
not
it
off the top of
leaning?
my head.
it's just crazy to me.
I just couldn't imagine spending 77 years doing something. And
Right.
then- hopefully. I mean, I say hopefully. They probably died before it started leaning. You know what I mean? Whoever started that thing, even if they were in their 30s, and it was like 40 years of their life you know, that you spend building something?
But then who would pick it up?
Your son.
You were right originally. It did start leaning like during construction.
So was it like 10 years after?
freaking
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
dude.
It says the tower started leaning during construction because the foundation was built on soft ground that had difficulty supporting weight. But
So they
were like,
still continued to build it after it was leaning?
it was already 10 years of building something.
Yeah, but what, it's going to take you 77
Yeah,
years.
you still got 67
It's a
years. Like,
freestanding bell tower is what it is.
there's a bell inside there?
Apparently. I didn't actually know that because it's just like Leaning Tower and they never say bell tower.
The Leaning Tower of Pizza.
I think we should
Thanks
change.
to the soft ground, it had begun to lean by the time the builders got to the third story.
Yeah.
Yikes, dude.
I think we should just sort of like change like the headspace around the extra. Like, oh, it's leaning like it's the Leaning Tower of Pisa's fault. It's like absolutely the architect's fault, and we should know his
Yeah.
name so we
It's
can
falling.
shame him.
Yeah, for real.
It's the falling Tower of Pisa. It
Oh,
falls
because
at a rate of 1 to 2 millimeters per year.
Interesting.
Per year?
And then they just like push it back up.
Yeah, I was
Probably
gonna say,
not.
what is there, like a string tied around it that's like next to like the nearest
It was
tallest building?
built
Like
a long time ago.
how long ago?
It started leaning in 1178.
Yikes.
That doesn't mean anything to me. I can't even register that number. 1178.
1178.
It's
That
like-
was well
it's
before
two-
cars.
It's 2019.
Yeah, I know, but it's just crazy.
Here, let me do the math for you.
Oh god.
Appreciate that.
And that was 10 years after it started being built. So 1168. It was 851 years ago.
Yeah,
Is
I don't
when
even
they
know
started
that.
building it.
I don't even know what that means.
So much has happened in 861 years.
So many
51.
failures.
Sorry, 851 years.
861 since it started leaning. No, 41. 841 since it started leaning. 851 since they started building it.
Oh. That's
8.5 centuries.
I don't even I can't even fathom one
Yeah.
century.
Yeah, that's nearly a millennia.
That's crazy.
Big year words.
Nicely done.
Thanks.
Dana.
Nearly a millennia.
It's 80,
I thought a millennium.
85.
A millennium is 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Oh right. Oh right.
You got it.
It's 85 decades.
You're doing fine, Dane.
So I want to tell you guys a failure where I forgot what a millennia was.
Yeah. Good one. We all
85.1
remember that.
decades later. And it's falling at a very slow rate. But it is the falling Tower of Pisa. Now we all know it's a continuous fail. It's been failing for
Literally
841
the longest
years.
failure in
The
human
longest
history.
continuous, slow pace fail of all time.
Can you imagine tripping downstairs and falling for 850 years?
That's a long staircase, dude.
Dude. I'm just trying to think if it's just a YouTube video where it's fail, but it's just a 5-second video of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and it's just that stamp where it's fail, and it's just just because it's so awful, and it's continuing to be awful.
Just picture fail.
Yeah.
Fail.
That's it. One of the failures that I came up with was a personal failure of being deported from a country.
Heck yeah, dude.
Now,
Wild card.
I'm a rebel, y'all.
Uh-huh.
This that happened in
It wasn't 800 years ago.
no, it was 2016.
Years ago?
Yes. It's before the Leaning Tower of Pisa. No, it happened in 2016, and it's going to haunt my passport until 2024.
Oh, yikes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does it just say deported?
Well, there's a big old there's a big stamp that said could not enter.
Oh.
I on my
Is it
passport.
a big D? It's just poof,
It's a big old
Deported.
X. It's a big old X, and so every time I travel anywhere now, they look through it and they're always like, "What was this? What's this for?"
Hey, what's this about then? Hey.
Yeah, because anywhere she travels, that's what they talk like.
Well, it was
They sound like Jason Statham.
They sound like
what's
they're
so
Cockney.
this about? No, it's I can't go into there's certain countries that I'm not allowed to go into because
Like
they
what?
will I won't
Do you know?
Well, Israel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I have a deportation stamp. I will never until I get a new passport. I won't be able to go in there. There's a lot of countries where if you've ever been deported, full stop.
Can you just
I can
apply
get
for
another,
a new one?
Yeah, I can
and
get another
then-
passport, but
Like right now.
yeah, I can.
but they'll just stop you. you have a could not enter thing?
Well, if I get a new passport, I won't have it.
Why did you get deported?
I got deported because I was trying to go into the UK for the second time. Because the first time I went into the UK, I was detained for 7 hours.
Nice.
So this time I thought I'd one-up it. And I didn't have the correct...
That was like a little d, detained.
Yeah. That was a
like
lowercase.
Going for the big D.
I didn't have the correct paperwork to get in. I was going there for work, basically, but not really work. I had to say volunteer because I wasn't getting paid from the UK. And I didn't have all the correct visas and all that stuff. So I took a 9.5 hour plane ride to the UK from Dallas. Got off, went through waited in the long line.
Did all the bad stuff about going to a different country.
Yeah.
Which just takes forever. And then I was traveling with Jenny and Steve, who were, I guess, contacts. I don't know how to explain it.
Drug dealers.
Yeah, basically. They wouldn't let
there.
them near my bags at all. Like, they were like, you cannot touch her bags. We have to take them. But yeah, so I went up to the counter and I was like, oh, I'm here for this. And they're like, oh, where's your paperwork? And I was like, oh, what paperwork are you talking about? And I immediately knew, like, oh.
When you say paperwork,
I was like, well, there's my
do you
passport.
mean this Post-it note?
That says
I've
I'm
handwritten?
here. I can legally be
Paperwork.
here. Does this work? Signed by me. So I had to sit down in some like waiting area. And then 3.5 hours later, I was on the next flight out of the UK back to Dallas. So I lost about a whole 24 hours, 26 hours of my day.
Paper.
Yeah. And I couldn't sleep on the plane either. Although it sucked, like it was like once they were like, yeah, you can't come in because you don't have the paperwork. I was like, yeah, well, that makes sense. It's just like, yeah, that's on me, man. Sorry
you're
about
not
it.
wrong.
Yeah. So like I was just like, okay, I'm dumb.
2016 was this? When?
It was in October. It was October 9th,
Interesting.
2016. Why? Is that interesting?
Well, in November of 2016, I didn't get deported, but I was like a low-key failure point. It wasn't like my failure, but I was like suffering the consequences of the failure.
Failure adjacent.
Yeah, I was failure adjacent, but yeah.
Interesting.
But it also had to do with like being in another country in an airport for 17 hours
Yikers, dude.
and not being able to leave that country because I didn't have a visa.
Or you're like
for that
Edward
country.
Snowden or whatever. Not Edward Snowden. Not that guy.
Yeah.
What's the guy?
This
Juliana
What's the guy?
really
Tom
quick.
Hanks. What's the Tom Hanks
Yeah,
guy?
the terminal.
Yeah, what's his name?
No.
In the
Talk about
movie?
Julian Assange,
Yeah. Is that it?
the WikiLeaks guy.
No.
No.
She
I know.
said Snowden.
I know. I
and
said
I was like
Snowden.
making fun of her by saying that. No,
Snowden was-
You know the terminal? Did you ever see the terminal?
No.
With Tom Hanks, he's like from a country that's like starts having like
It was
a
like-
war while he's in the airport, so he doesn't have a country, so they won't let him in.
It's like
the
they
States.
changed. Yeah, like
So he
they
has to
changed
just like
something
stay in the airport.
because he has nowhere to call home, basically. Because like the passport that he has is pertaining to like this country, but that country like
Ceases
technically-
to exist.
Yeah, no
like,
longer
after
exists.
He leaves.
I haven't seen the movie. I just know that you've told me
Oh
about
my
it.
gosh, you haven't even seen. See, this is what I'm talking about. She hasn't even seen the movie. It's a good movie.
I'm sure. I mean,
It's a bit of a tearjerker, but it's a good movie.
It's Thomas Hanks, who is one of my favorites.
Probably not because you haven't even seen that movie.
I've seen Big and other things.
She names
His most
one. She
important
names
work.
one movie. I've seen Big and several of his other works named here in this blank table
that
space.
one movie, you know, Look at Me, I'm the captain now.
What movie is that?
Captain Phillips.
Phillips Captain.
I was like, what's his name? But yeah, so
Captain Hanks.
back to
Captain
it.
Tommy.
Captain Tomothy.
Timothy. Yeah, so I got deported, and I have since gone back. I got my paperwork and legally went back numerous times.
Redemption story.
So it was just that once. But every time I did go through any border, after that, they would stop me and question why I got deported.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have to call the UK to make sure that I wasn't lying.
About
saying-
being deported?
Well, about the reason why I was deported.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was fun. So for a while there, I was always nervous about Border Patrol. Coming back from France was a a scary one just because it was just like, I was one of the first ones and they were like, oh, what's this? And I was like, oh no, no, don't look at me.
Nothing.
I'm so ashamed.
That page is supposed to be stuck to the other page.
Yeah.
You just flip right over it.
Pretty much. So yeah. So
Nice.
that was that.
So my next failure is
Stamp.
pretty recent. Yeah. Pretty recent, like
like
within the
pretty
past
sad.
week.
Whoa, within the past week.
Yeah. So,
That's really recent.
y'all may have heard about this, but so the streaming service Twitch.
Oh.
Um,
Yeah, Lydia talked to me about this.
yeah. So had like a very popular streamer on there named Ninja,
Right.
Tyler Blevins, right? Who recently signed a deal to get moved to another streaming service exclusively, right? Business deal. He'd been with Twitch for, I think, 7 years at that point, building his community, building his brand, blah, 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 blah. When he left for this new streaming service, Twitch decided it would be a good idea to manhandle his account because it still technically had like 10,000 or something subscribers on there, because you subscribe for a month and then it carries over for that length of time until it rolls off. So he still had 9,000 subscribers. And they decided it would be a good idea to just take his account and promote other streams from their platform with it, without his consent or permission or even letting him know or asking if it was okay. They're just like, you're not here anymore. I guess this is ours now. These are our viewers. This is our channel.
Look at
even
me,
though
we're the captain now.
Yeah, look at us. We're the captain now. You got it, idiot? We're doing this. And so they did that, right? They were promoting all these other channels. And the funniest thing happened in which one of those channels decided it was just going to play porn for 2 hours.
2 hours.
And it was on the front page of Twitch, which, mind you, is the 13th most visited site on the internet, right? In terms of viewership and people access. So imagine your family-friendly, like according to your terms of service, streaming website is showing porn on the front page for 2 hours without no one monitoring this, no one knowing about it, and just, could you freaking imagine?
Don't you have people for that?
Exactly,
Just
that's what
like
I'm
your
saying.
one job is to make sure there aren't typos on the home page. Like,
How for 2 hours?
For
how
2
in
hours,
God's
that's a
name
long time.
can
for
you let that
2
happen?
hours. But can you imagine some kid being like having some family get together and being like, the grandparents are like, so what are you into, Timmy? And he's like,
This?
oh boy, I like Fortnite. Let me show you. And then logs into Twitch, and it's just like,
Yeah, giant Wang.
yeah, just swinging away on the front page.
I worried about it so much because I was like, I know for a fact there was an instance in that 2 hour period where a kid was like, Mom, please let me watch Twitch. Please, can I watch my favorite streamer Ninja for the first time? Please. Everything is fine. There's terms of service. Everything is okay. They don't allow anything weird. Please, just this one time. And we'll watch it together so you'll know it's okay. And then they turn it on.
Together.
And what do they see?
Just
Porn.
butts.
And that kid is ruined. His mom's like, no, you're never watching
Yeah,
this garbage
and his
ever
mom's
again."
like-
Yikes, dude.
the whole time she's like, no, I know it's bad. Oh my gosh, this is rotting your brain. Oh my gosh, this is bad influence. Fine, I'll show you. Well, first thing I see is, and you're done forever. And he's like, yeah, totally fine. It's Mom. It's gonna be fine. You're gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Don't worry about it. Turns it on, and then his eyes just light up. And he's like trying to like click out of the browser real quick because he knows what's going on. And she's like, "What's this?" And he's like, "No, Mom, no!"
Then it's over. Then she
It's
chops
just
the power
Fortnite.
cord to his computer.
Yeah, she just drop kicks the TV.
that's gotta-
She's like, "Pfft,
Can you imagine?
"Not in
though?
my Christian home."
Can you imagine though some like kid like not being able to play Fortnite because of that?
I
Even though
guarantee
that's not
you that
his
happens.
fault?
Yeah, it's freaking Twitch's fault. It was a horrible, petty, just relentlessly stupid
Yikes.
idea.
2 hours.
That's a long time.
That's a
Yes.
long time.
Because think about it. Like, even if it wasn't something like that, obviously, because that is the most absurd scenario of that thing happening. But like, let's say there was like some random YouTube video like linked to our homepage. If it was up there for 5 minutes, we would get like 1,000 phone calls.
That's
like,
my thing.
Why is this Fortnite video on your homepage? It doesn't make any sense. When I click on Give, it's like Fortnite, and it's like, why? I don't want to watch this. Like that would have been like in the first 10 minutes of that being like 2 hours.
That's what I'm wondering.
Imagine?
Like, how many people did like report it, and was Twitch just like, we'll get to it once it makes the mainstream media? Like, what were they trying to do?
Stupid.
Maybe they were just like, oh, maybe it was like this. It was like, we're gonna put this on Ninja Stream, and then once people start like, hey, you're not Ninja, and they're like reporting it, they're thinking like, oh, they're probably just like, Ninja's not on Fortnite, that's what they're reporting, or Ninja's not on Twitch, that's what they're reporting. So we won't have to worry about that. But in reality, they're like, there's porn on here.
But you said this was a stream that somebody was hosting. It was like a host, because they can do that on Twitch, right? Like,
right.
You can have like
the way it's supposed
or something.
Yeah, the way it's supposed to work is that when you, like, as a streamer, if you were done with your stream, you can do a thing where it's an auto host, so you will host another streamer, and all of the viewers that you have will then be like transferred to their stream. But from there, the viewers can go wherever they want. But it's just a way to keep the viewers engaged and keep them watching streams, which is good for Twitch as a company, But they took all the agency out of that and said, this is our channel. We're deciding that this is our channel, Ninja, and we're going to use it as we see fit, without your consent.
And just put a whole bunch of porn on it.
Yeah, and we're going to, the way it worked is we're going to show like the top streams, so the streams with the most viewers, right? And we're going to cycle through there. And one of them was this guy who was just replaying porn.
I can't even,
which is obviously against the terms of service and all that sort of stuff, but without anyone monitoring it, you can't take it down.
This brings up another question. Who sits down at their computer and goes, you know what I want to do as a community? Watch porn together and just engage the audience. Just see what they're feeling.
This is more of a focus group.
Just see what the audience is feeling. Like, yes, this video is cool. Send. Like, what?
The internet is a terrible, scary, dark place.
Wet place.
Gross.
It's a dark, moist place.
Yeah. I hate you.
So yeah,
Yikes.
Twitch, you screwed the pooch. On
Have
that
they
one,
done
guys.
it? Have they like?
The CEO had to come out, and it took him a few days for sure, but he came out and publicly said he apologized, but he was like, we were experimenting with new options when it came to hosting other streamers and blah 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 blah. It's like, dude, you're not apologizing if you're not going to apologize. Like, you're just saying stuff, which sucks. So.
Well, we were doing something new, and it seemed to have failed. So, might be. Be sorry, everybody.
Technically, it wasn't my fault, but.
Okay, my next fail is probably one of my favorite sports fails of all times.
Is it going to be something soccer?
No, it's actually not. It's not a sport I watch. It's just a hilarious fail. So, Tiger Woods, probably one of the most decorated professional golfers of all time.
Yes.
Everybody knows who that is. You don't have to watch golf. You know who Tiger Woods is. Tiger Woods, in 2007. So, I'm going to back up a little bit. Tiger Woods does a very animated fist pump when he does gets a good
eagle or something.
A good golf. I don't know.
When he gets a net.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how to say this
when
sentence.
He does a good golf.
When he
does a good golf, he just, it's a very it's like a really like firm fist pump, and you're just like, yeah, it's very like Shooter McGavin-esque from Happy Gilmore.
Shooter.
Bam. Yeah, anyways. So in 2007 at the PGA Championship, he had a really long putt to get a birdie.
Nice.
Yeah, I actually know what that is. And as it rolled down the hill, it was a very long putt apparently, and it disappears into the hole, he was like, yes, I've done it. This is really good. This is in the final round. He goes down to just do a massive fist pump and tears his ACL.
Wait, what?
What?
Hold on. Isn't that in your leg?
It's in your knee, yeah. He tore his left ACL.
You fist pumped so hard you tear your ACL.
How?
He came down in an awkward position with his left knee landing on a backwards down slope.
Yeah, he was trying something new with his fist pumps.
That is the weird. That's like getting shot by a gun and being like, "Oh no, I don't know."
Wait, I don't know where you're going with this. It's like being
Hey,
shot with a gun and then
This
golf happening.
This is a safe space full of fails, so I can do this.
Oh.
Get off my back.
Yeah, it's exactly like getting shot by a gun, though.
And then I don't know, getting dirt.
Yeah,
in your
because he
eye.
like stood up after that and limped off the green.
Man. Oh.
How do you fist bump so hard?
I think it was all in the delivery, because this is him getting up from that. You can see how
Yikes.
awkward he looks, like in that picture, and like how, like mistakes were made.
I shouldn't have done that fist bump.
I should have waited till the final hole.
So could he continue playing?
He did. He finished real low. I mean, he had
All
a
because
torn
of a fist
ACL.
bump, dude.
He did recover and won, like, I guess the next Masters. So, and he's still golfs now. I mean, that was in 2007.
Yeah.
But
He went on to fail.
he went
In
on
many
to
more
fail
ways.
in many
Yeah,
more
that's true.
ways and was in the news for many other
Yeah,
reasons.
no, that's true.
But
Around
that's-
that year.
But
That's
I
a
would,
little known,
I would
yeah.
honestly say, like, man, those other fails were pretty bad. Don't get me wrong, pretty bad. But not a lot of people can say they've
Yeah.
torn their ACL from fist pumping.
Yeah, that's real. That's real special.
That's like it's just a beautiful fail though. Like it's
I don't
golden.
know how to wrap my
like,
head around
it's
that.
just so golden. Like going down on the knee to get just a very genuine like yes,
Fist bump,
and
yeah.
you just this doesn't feel right, and you're still
not
you
my
still,
arm.
You still got to go through, and then you start to stand up, and you're like, oh God, what have I done? And you're like, my knee. My knee.
Wow.
This feels like I've been shot. Right, Dana?
I'm gonna kill you.
I'm gonna fist pump.
I'm gonna hate you.
Yeah. Oh, inwardly, I'm going to hate you inwardly.
Yeah.
Silently.
Yeah, from afar.
What else you got, Dane?
The next one is one of my favorite movies. That's a fail.
Uh-huh.
And it's called The Room.
I've never seen this movie.
Oh, we need to have a watch party. Have you ever seen it?
I've seen The Room.
Okay. It, from start to finish, is a ride. And it's more than just like the film itself. It's like the story behind the film, because I read, like, because The Disaster Artist came out, the movie, and I read the book that sort of...
With James Franco.
Yeah, the book was written by Greg Sestero, who was the co-star in The Room, and like his like friendship with Tommy Wiseau, who wrote and starred and directed and literally anything else in The Room. Like Tommy Wiseau is an enigma, and that's why I love him. Nobody really knows where he's from. Like, don't know where he got all his money from, all this stuff. And he funded this movie all on his own. He filmed it on both. He had 2 cameras per shot, so it was like shot in HD and film, per shot. I don't know, but it was just like he had never like acted. Well, he was in like a workshop thing,
What?
which is
that
where he
doesn't
met.
even show.
It was bad. That's the thing, dude. He was, I don't know if it was improv. Might have been improv. Anyway, it's where he met Greg Sestero, who is in this room. And it, like, you watch this movie. I'm, like, a fan of horrible films. Like, I just love watching bad films and making fun of them. But there's just something about it where it's just, like, he has no idea what he's doing. But he has his heart so, like, 1,000% into this. And so it was kind of heartbreaking, like, in The Disaster Artist, in the book and the movie, when, like, people were watching when he premiered it. Like, he sent out all these invites to his friends and family, and like nobody came to watch it.
That sucks.
And so he would go sit in theaters because it was like released like locally around where he lived at the time, and he would go sit in theaters and people would be laughing at the movie, and he would just be like, why are they laughing? Like, this isn't a comedy, this is a drama. and it would like it tore him down. Where like Greg Sestero had to kind of like bring him back up, like kind of had to turn it around. Like, look, you put your heart into this movie. But people are enjoying it. They're just laughing. But it's such a fail on so many levels. I enjoy it so much because it's a fail. But there's so much heart in it, and that's why I love it, because it is like a pet project.
Yeah, I can get behind stuff like that where it's like it's awful, but it's like refrigerator art.
Right.
That your definitely
It's
brings
endearingly awful.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
man, this really sucks, but you did it for me, and I can tell you really tried. You really
really
tried
tried
on
your
this
best.
one. Yeah.
Even though your best sucks.
Yep. It's going on the fridge.
But that's the thing. I think that's the difference between like a good bad movie and a bad movie. Like a good bad movie is a movie that set out to be good, and so it has like heart and it has like people trying, and it's just bad. Whereas a bad movie is just like
Meet the Deedles.
Or like Snakes on a Plane.
Yep.
I haven't seen either of those.
You don't need to. I don't
Was
think
Meet the Deedles
Meet
the one that
Deedles
never
isn't-
existed?
Yeah, Meet the Deedles
Yeah.
doesn't exist.
It
But
does
Snakes on a
exist.
Plane does exist.
It does exist, and it's amazing.
But it's
Paul
like-
Walker's in it.
Yeah, like hey, what?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the reason why he was wanting us to watch it.
Because Paul Walker was in it?
Yeah.
Well,
Also,
Yeah, y'all just didn't believe me.
We
I was like,
didn't.
it exists.
I still don't.
I've heard a
We
couple
all
other
know
people
that
talk about it though. That's
You
the
still
thing.
haven't seen, what was it? Heavyweights?
Heavyweights.
Wait, who hasn't seen it?
She
I haven't
hasn't.
seen
We
Heavyweights.
talked about this
We've
when we
talked about
talked
this
about
before.
Meet the Deedles.
Okay.
Because we were
Yes, I'm
having
starting
that
to remember
Disney
now.
conversation, and then
Yeah,
we
we
were
just
like, oh,
started listing
Heavyweights.
off-
And she was like, I don't know what that is. And we were like, what are you doing with your life? Heavyweights is like Ben Stiller, Heavyweights.
I don't know.
That one chunky kid from Mighty Ducks, he's in that movie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man.
Isn't he the goalie?
In Mighty Ducks or in
Uh-huh.
Heavyweights? Oh.
I don't remember. Quack. Quack. Quack.
Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, but like a really long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
It's been
It's
a
been a
really,
bit.
really long time. But yeah, so The Room was kind of redemptive in a way because it was Tommy Wiseau's pet project and he was upset that people were laughing at it, but now he will go around like certain theaters around the nation will have showings and he'll go to them and be like, because he's like a cult. Like, not a cult leader, but you know what I mean?
He's a cult leader. So he goes to all the theaters and then passes out these free,
yeah, he passes out like trick tracks. But no, he he will go and like people will like celebrate him, and so it's like he like celebrates that now, and he's like, yeah, I'm
That's
this famous
awesome.
guy, and like, but I don't know. At times it's like I wonder if he like puts on this facade, and then he just goes home and it's like everyone hates me.
That's hard, dude.
Probably.
But I mean like,
if we're being
but that's the thing.
honest.
Like people don't hate him; they love him because he like tried and failed, but at least he tried. And that's how I look at it, you know? So yeah, he probably had voices in his head that were like, don't make a movie. And so he made a movie to silence that voice in his head.
Right. Don't fist pump.
Don't fist pump. Don't paint.
Yeah,
Don't
but
make
maybe you
movies.
should listen to that one.
Don't fist pump. Oh, I'm gonna fist pump.
Show you.
Stupid.
He just stands up.
Tiger
He's
got
like,
a
worth
fist
it.
Tiger got a fist bump.
Oh man. Okay. I'm kind of torn between these last two. I wrote them both down. I'm just gonna give like an honorable mention to one, which is Orbit's soda.
Dude, I was just talking about that the other day.
Really?
Yes.
Do you remember this?
Dude,
Okay. It is like it was this soda.
Like the gum?
no, soda.
So it was a soda that
Yeah,
came.
I know, but I know
Soda
it was like the
Amand.
same company. I don't know.
No, not the same company. So it was this soda that came in a glass bottle, sort of looked like a lava lamp, almost, and it was disgusting. First of all, it tasted like, I don't know, like codeine or something, like
Yeah,
straight
it was-
codeine
yeah.
medicine or something, like cough medicine. It's like super thick, gross, and then it had these like tapioca pearls, but they weren't. It wasn't like a traditional tapioca pearl like you would find in like a boba tea or something like that. It was like these weird, like chewy candy bits.
And if I remember correctly, didn't they float like not just at the bottom?
Yeah,
they
no,
float
they
like
floated all
throughout
through the
the
soda.
whole thing.
Which is why it was so enticing, but at the same time, increasingly horrible. Just awful soda. It launched sometime in the 90s, and then it was shut down in a year.
In a year?
A year.
Yo,
That's fast.
Yeah.
I went to
That's a fast fail.
Yeah.
That's weird because I went to when I was younger. We used to go to like on field trips, because growing up in Detroit, we used to go to COSI, which is a like hands-on science theater in Cleveland or Cincinnati. I can't remember which one. And so we would go there, and it was like we were in like 3rd or 4th grade, and we would go and like we got to buy our own lunch. And so it was like they had orbits, and all the kids were like, that is like a science drink.
It
and
has
so we
to be.
all,
It's like drinking
yeah,
science.
because it was like the little thingies were floating in it, which it sounds disgusting when you say it
'Cause
like
it was.
that. But it's like
probably
I
looked
remember
super
drinking
cool.
it. So that's weird that it was only like available
that
for a
time.
year.
1 year.
That was the year that
Dang.
you got to buy it for science
Yeah.
fair or whatever you were
It's a
at.
science
Yeah,
museum.
I have like a deep-seated sense memory of the first time I tried this, and I was in it's not like it was like a repair shop. My mom was taking me to like a repair shop to get the car oil change or something like that, and they had a standing vending machine in there, and I saw it, and she bought it for me because I wanted it so bad, and I was like, this is gross, and I poured it out into a plant.
This is
And then that
gross.
plant immediately died.
Yeah.
Simon's like, I have standards. He just pours it out. His mom's like, you'll drink that, so help me. I'll make
Eat that plant. Mom, no.
Yeah, eat that dirt that you just poured that into. I didn't waste my money for dirt. You know, I
wasted
can
it on Pokemon
actually
cards, though.
see your mom like, you better drink that, boy. just smack you upside the head like real hard. You're like, Mom, you're embarrassing me. And you're wasting my money.
Yeah, that was my honorable mention.
That's a good honorable
But
mention.
for the last one that I'm gonna do that I wrote down, I'm just going to put there were so many failures in this category that I wanted to touch on them all, and I'm just gonna say like gaming as a whole, right, and all
Fair.
the weird, crazy stuff that has come out since its inception. Specifically, like what is the most sort of endearing for me is the Virtual Boy, which is Nintendo's early 90s foray into virtual reality,
Yeah.
which was not virtual reality at all and was not anything like what they promoted or said it would be. And it was really just these sort of nightmare, like black and red hellscapes that you would pour like your eyeballs into and try to control. Yeah, it was horrible. It was a horrible disaster. But it's like such a special thing now, like to have an actual Virtual Boy and to like relive that part of history. It's sort of like The Room in that way where it's like, it's awful, but people love it because
Right.
it's so awful, you know, because it's the same, like there was like the Virtual Boy, there was the Power Glove,
The Power Glove.
which was,
The power glove.
I remember the Power
yeah,
Glove.
like an incredible failure, pretty
Yeah.
much. You know, it was supposed to like be this revolutionary new technology and blah 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 blah, and launch with all these games. It launched with 2 games, and that's like all it ever got.
Oh.
Yeah, but it didn't even like you would buy the Power Glove and you have to buy the games like separately. So. But yeah, all throughout like gaming, there's been stuff like that. Even like the fiasco with like this past generation with like the Xbox and like the Kinect and like the always
Oh,
online
yeah.
thing. It's like you have to have the Kinect and it has to be online.
But
and
it's like always, yeah.
yeah. So gaming as a whole, I think just
I mean, God, do you remember like the ET game?
I do remember the ET game.
Yeah. Where they just unearthed those and then sold them for like a lot
Yeah,
of
they
money.
found them in a dump or whatever.
Yeah, they put them in a landfill because they made so many that they like
crazy.
just like buried them.
It's crazy.
They have. I was recently at the video game museum in Frisco here, and they have a Virtual Boy. And I have to say, like, first of all, I put my face near it. I didn't put my face on it because it was pretty sweaty, and I don't know who had been wearing
Just
it.
gross.
But like, I get it. Like, I didn't have one when I was younger, and so like seeing the graphics of that thing, even now, I was like, I get this.
Yeah.
Like people being like, "Oh my God, there's like depth in the game."
Yeah.
Like that must have been insane.
Yeah, we didn't
At
have
the time.
one either. There was this kid that lived across the street from us in our first house, I think his parents were divorced. Sad, but and then either one of his parents would always buy him like all the new
Right.
hot stuff, and he would bring it over. We would go over there and play it. So we had like all the games, like anything you could want, and we were always trying it out. And I was like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened. And it's crazy how you can just lie to yourself like
Yeah,
that when
that's-
you're playing it and you're like, oh my God, this is so amazing. And you're like, well, it's actually garbage.
It's actually really awful and horrible, and I hate it.
Yeah. Gaming's always going to fail, though.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're always going to take risks.
Yeah.
And
You got to
Well,
innovate.
The thing
You
about
gotta-
like that, which kind of leads into like my last one, is like I was reading articles about like the most successful failures and things that like failed hard but made way for like other things to be successful.
Yeah.
And like the Virtual Boy was on that list.
Really?
But yeah, but it was like Dreamcast was on there.
It was a huge failure.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was like way before like DS had like handheld controllers like that, and another one was like Zunes.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
yeah, I
was,
remember
like,
the
a
Zune.
huge failure, even though it was like kind of branched off
Yeah.
of like what iPods could be.
Yeah. Dude, the sad thing about the Dreamcast, though, is it probably would have been great, but the way they freaking released this thing, they didn't market it at all. Like, at all. And then the day before they released it, they were like, we have this new console. It's called the Dreamcast, and you can go buy it today.
Yeah.
And then, like, but it was like, it's also like the 90s, and there's not social media, so no one
No one's gonna
freaking
know
knows,
about it.
dude. Great job, Sega.
What was else? What
I mean,
else was
but
on
the
that
crazy,
list?
crazy Taxi came out.
Crazy
Oh,
Taxi
yeah,
was dope.
so
Google Glass.
Google Glass.
Man.
Yeah, I remember that was the thing where I was
It
like, this is
one of
going to
the most-
revolutionize
well, it was one of the most highly
world.
anticipated things that came out, and it like blew up when it first came out,
Yeah.
and then it was just like complete failure after
I'm-
that. But
There's like nothing I want more than something like that to work. I want to be Black Mirrored like so hard. Like give me give me that freaking like headgear like
just HUD,
yes.
just on my eye.
I want it so
I
bad.
just want a
see.
contact.
But Google Glass is not it. You see it, it's like the weirdest like tiny like
right here.
It looks like it's so Star Trek. Like
yeah,
it's like
no one can freaking do that.
it's awful.
What else was on that list? Oh, Napster was on that list.
I remember Napster trying to become like a legitimate business after
It's like, hey,
it
buy
was-
music from us.
Yeah, and it was like, no, I already
dude.
downloaded so many songs off you
Yeah.
illegally. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna suddenly put money towards you.
Right. And then Blackberries were on there, which totally phased out. You know, like
Yeah, they
were
took care of
everything
themselves.
and then nothing. Palm Pilots were also on there. I remember my dad having a Palm Pilot,
Dude, I just remember like the holsters that they had.
a little stylus. AOL was on there.
But see, I think some people still use AOL.
Yeah, but
My mom
that
still
doesn't make
uses
it not
AOL.
a fail.
I mean, fair, but it's like, can you use AOL without the discs now? Or do you need to keep putting like? 'Cause
No,
you remember,
where
didn't
do you
have
think
to, like,
the internet comes from, Dana?
comes from
the disc.
CDs?
Windows 8 was on there.
Dude, my mom still
Yikes.
uses the same email address that we made all together as a family when we got our first computer.
Woof.
Wow. I don't even use.
Do you guys remember your first AOL screen names?
No, because
I
I didn't
do.
have one because
I
we
do.
weren't allowed to have
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah, well, we had like one family computer, and my parents used it for work, so we had to do like those typing games. Though, do you remember
Heck
those?
yeah, those were
Mavis
awesome.
Beacon, dude.
I love those.
Yeah.
That was what the computer was for.
that wasn't a game,
and
though.
freaking the backyard games. Y'all ever play those?
Oh, like backyard baseball?
Oh,
Yeah.
backyard baseball.
Yeah.
I was always Pablo. He was super fast. Backyard football. Yeah. Pablo Sanchez. The 40. The 30.
So
He
stupid.
could go all the way. Like, that's, like, engraved in my brain.
Good
I
God.
just played that all the time. That was a
We'd always
weird
play
segue, but yeah.
the space pilot pinball.
Yeah, the,
Oh, it was
the
at the
pinball machine.
so freaking
The
You did
free-
the little...
Yep.
The free
Pinball.
pinball.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
was like, it looked like real pinball.
I mean, if you think about it, like Windows had like
had some legit like
yeah,
free
because
games.
like well, that's
yeah.
the thing though. Like the way that I started editing was like through Windows Movie Maker, and that was a free thing that came with Windows. Like
Yeah.
I
that's
never
crazy to
understood how
me.
like Minesweeper worked. I just
No.
like click. You just
I was
click.
see how fast I could lose the game.
Do y'all
I'd
know
turn
how it
mines
works
all
now?
the way
yeah,
up.
I know
yeah,
how it
I know
works
how it works
now.
now.
But like no, like
You look a
growing
little
up,
worried there,
like
Simon.
never understood it, and then like watch someone play it with the flags, and you're like, what the hell? Like,
yeah, I know.
What are these
I didn't even know you
for?
could
What are
do
they
those.
doing?
Yeah, no, I would
Oh.
like turn the mines all the way up and be like, let's see how fast I can lose this game. Click done. Yes.
click done. Click done.
It was a fun game I played with myself.
Man,
That was a sad childhood.
yeah. There was another one, but now I can't remember what it was. But Yeah, just like technology that's like failed, but then like other things have
Made the way
succeeded
for-
because like they like failed so
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
My last one comes with kind of a cool story. And by cool, I mean not really cool, but it's kind of funny. Do you guys remember
No. Yes.
in the year 2000
Maybe.
Oh my God.
when
I do
Heinz
remember the year 2000.
came out with Easy Squeeze?
I do remember. I thought you were going in a very different
Yeah,
I'm
I thought
sorry.
you were going
As
to
in just the year
colored
2000.
ketchup.
Well, just the year
she said
2000.
Oh,
Heinz.
that well, no, the
As in Y2K. Is
Yeah,
it probably
well,
the
that
greatest
technically that was-
cultural failure of our time?
technically that was 1999 bracing for Y2K.
Oh
When you
my
said
God.
Heinz, I thought of green ketchup.
Yes.
Was the first fail.
It's actually called Heinz Easy Squirt.
Gross.
That sounds awful.
And the
Squirt is not good marketing, dude.
it gets better because the green ketchup, the flavoring, or whatever it was called, it was spinach colored, and then in quotes, it was called Blastin' Green. Can you imagine being like, hey mom, can you give me that Easy Squirt, the Blastin' Green kind? Like that's not okay, dude.
There's no like
There's no coming
Nothing-
back after that.
nothing more indicative of like the late 90s, early 2000s than that marketing campaign. Right there.
Because they also had purple.
Blast me.
Blast me with that Easy
Blast me
Squirt,
some ketchup.
dude.
Got a blast.
I don't know why it discontinued in 2006, but I guess it says in 2012 Burger King teamed up with Heinz to resurrect the green ketchup concept. This time as part of a St. Patrick's Day promotion. Here's the thing, though. The thing they had with these ketchups, these crazy wackadoodle colors ketchups, they had this nozzle, this kid-friendly nozzle, which is also very not okay. But I remember one Christmas, my cousin had, my aunt and my uncle had the ketchups, and we took me and my brother took just a plain sugar cookie, and with it we drew a Christmas tree and like some ornaments, and it was like red and green, and so then we just set it like to the side because it looked like frosting, and we just waited. We just sat there and waited, and my cousin ate it, and he was upset.
Yeah.
That's
Someone can-
disgusting.
That is pretty gross.
But my thing is like, weird colored ketchups are not okay, but then it's also like weird colored like anything else. Like if they came out with like a mayonnaise that was like, here it's blue, I'd be like, you know what? That's a little weird.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of reminds me. That's kind of a good segue into like modern fails with the Heinz company. I was telling you, was it you that I saw that Cranch with?
Oh, yes.
Cranch?
Cranch. It's ketchup ranch, and then there's mayo chup.
Oh my god. Yes, this is like in the store.
Uh-huh.
Like legitimately in the
Mayo
store.
chup and Cranch.
But so what? Mayo chup is mayo and ketchup.
Mm-hmm.
People call that fry sauce though.
Right. Mayo chup doesn't sound good though.
I mean, fair.
Cranch, when you, it's like, doesn't sound.
Mayo chup
Cranch.
sounds like a greeting.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that bad, but when you like think about what it looks like on like the
bottle.
yeah,
Cranch.
it's got to be KRANCH,
Yeah.
which is a disgusting looking word.
like
Yeah.
K ranch. Cranch.
Cranch.
Cranch. Also, ketchup and ranch does not sound good.
No.
No.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, that does sound pretty bad. And Cranch just sounds like an old man's
Cranch.
name. Like, old man Cranch down there. Like, that
Mayo
sounds...
chup Cranch.
It's like a whole greeting.
Mayo chup sounds like some
Pokemon.
either
Yeah.
a Pokemon or some odd greeting in some like bush dialect. Mayo chup.
I hate it. Yeah, food fails are pretty bad, huh? When they think they can make something, and then they don't.
That's not even
stop.
like.
Mayo chup.
You can't
Nobody,
see what
this is
he's
an
doing.
audio medium.
It's just mayo chup, dude.
Dear God.
News.
There it is.
All right, cool.
There we go.
So I was listening to the radio. Hey, don't try to look at the
Whoa,
paper.
whoa,
I'm about
bro,
to tell you
whoa,
what's on this
Oh,
paper.
you told us at the beginning of this. Hey, scoot a little closer, and now you're yelling at him.
What? I'm about to tell you what's on this piece of paper.
Okay.
Okay.
Tell me.
Well, I'm actually gonna make you guess, but
Okay, I mean,
but
honestly,
no, I'm gonna tell you what the title is, and then
Right,
from
what
there
it's
you'll
about.
guess stuff. Okay, so I was listening to the radio before we got here, and they were talking about it's almost state fair season.
Oh.
And they were talking about, here are your food finalists for 2019
Oh, Lord.
State Fair of Texas.
Food finalists.
So it's 10 finalists, and out of those 10, 3 will be in the, I guess the 3 winners will be the 3 like big State Fair foods for 2019.
So not all 10 of them will be there, only the top 3.
Yeah, I guess that's how it works. I think.
So you could say it's like a Hunger Games.
God,
You
that
guys
was
get it?
That was so bad.
Wow.
You guys get it.
I'm proud of you, but I don't want to show it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, I definitely cut that part off because I didn't think it was important. So yeah, I think it's 3 finalists, and then those are the like maybe featured foods, and then the other ones are still there. I don't know, but 10 finalists. Most of them look good. Most of them are what I expect to be at state fairs, but are different than like your run of the mill things.
Sure.
So like fried Oreos and stuff that's not on there, but fried things are on there. So
Well, duh.
I'm gonna see if you guys can guess any of the things that are on here.
Okay. Is it all fried food?
No. Most of them are though.
Danny, you go first.
Okay. Most of them are. Now, we're talking like the Texas State Fair, not like North Texas.
Texas State Fair of Texas. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing.
Okay.
I know that they've done deep fried beer and deep fried bubble gum one year.
Ew.
Right, yeah. Oh, God.
These are like foods. Like
You said that they were fried.
yeah, they are, but they're not like. Here's some bubble gum. That's a meal. That's not a meal.
Oh, okay.
It's,
So they're
it's
like
something
meal
you could
foods.
eat like as a snack or a meal. Like it's not just like there's this one little thing and it's fried. It's not like one Oreo. Have fun with that meal.
Okay. Texas is all about. I've only been here.
There
a
are
few
some
years.
dessert items too, though. But
Okay.
I'll just lay that on.
Okay.
So.
Okay. But I know one thing Texas loves. It's those big old horned cows. The big ones.
The big ones,
Which
yeah.
ones are those?
The horned cows?
The horns.
Yes, the
horned
Texas horned cows.
And I think people eat their testicles.
Do they?
I think so.
Is that what are those
Rocky
mountain
Mountain
oysters?
oysters.
That's what I was thinking of. Rocky Mountain oysters. Maybe those. Maybe some of those in there.
Okay, but as like a meal?
They're not in the finalists.
Are they on the list?
They are not the finalists, which is these are 10 finalists. So
Okay. Wow.
they may be there, but they're not on this list.
Okay.
No one won. No one got into the top 10 for those bad boys.
Is it like like weird, bizarre stuff, or is it stuff you're like, oh man, that would be so delicious?
Both.
Okay.
Like some of them are like, oh, I would have never thought to do that with that, but I'll give you one example.
Orange
One of-
alligator.
Probably no. What? That's not even a thing. Like
Yeah, like orange chicken, but it's alligator instead of chicken.
you're so-
See?
Whoa, now you're thinking outside the bun.
Ding.
This one's probably the most eccentric one, in the sense that I wouldn't ever think to do this with these. Southern fried chicken fettuccine Alfredo ball.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
The little, you want me? I'll just read the
Yeah,
little
go
paragraph.
on.
Okay. Have you ever been eating at your favorite Italian restaurant and thought, yeah, this is good and all, but I would enjoy this much more if it were a deep fried sphere?
All the time.
We've all been there. This dish answers all those desires and more with southern fried chicken mixed in with fettuccine Alfredo.
Just in like a little, like
I
a
mean, I've
little
had
ball.
mac and cheese
just like
balls.
a little ball.
Yeah.
Yo, is that
That's one of them.
that's huge? There's a piece of asparagus next to it, and
It's
is
a
that like
ball.
mini asparagus? I know, but I mean, like I would think like it's a little like it's a little like a pizza roll size.
No.
But that's like
This
the
is
size of my
This is the
fist.
state
This is-
of
hey,
Texas.
this is Texas.
Yeah,
Fair.
I mean, fair.
That's like a sample.
Have you seen the horns of these bulls?
They're very big.
They're huge.
Yeah, so that was like an interesting, like, oh, that sounds good. Never
that.
would have thought to like
Yeah.
fry Alfredo.
That's a pass in my book. I mean,
Yeah.
wait, passes in.
Passes in
Not a fail.
check mark.
Yeah.
That's
Check.
that's
Yes,
a pass
please.
for me.
That one gets through.
Pass that to me.
Number 2.
Okay. Deep fried.
That was like number
Deep
4,
fried.
Oh.
but It's okay. I'll go back.
Deep fried.
Deep fried.
Deep fried deep dish pizza.
Pockets.
That's it.
Pizza pockets.
Deep fried deep dish pizza pockets.
I'm sorry, that's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Can we make one though?
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, that can be on our next
Okay.
AFGF video.
Are-
We deep fry things.
Is there a lot of meat?
Yes and no. You want me to just like go
Yes.
through this list? Let's just
Yeah.
go through
Yes.
this list. All right.
'Cause I will make up
Number
some
one.
ideas.
These are in no particular order, but Calypso Island Shrimp Bowl. That was
that?
probably the fanciest looking one.
What's that mean?
Okay. Got a bowl. Got
Oh,
some
okay.
shrimp in there.
So it's just like rice and shrimp and
Yeah,
peppers.
it says a tropical inspired rice and shrimp bowl. This dish incorporates flavors of the Pacific with an astonishing array of color. Made with cabbage, carrots, basil, ginger, and red bell peppers, and topped with yellow rice and sticky, spicy, and sweet glazed shrimp.
That's a lot of flavors, dude.
This is one dish certain to catch fairgoers' eyes.
That's a lot of different flavors, my dude.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Fernie's fried
Not at the
burnt
fair.
end burrito.
I'm sorry.
I'm up with that.
But just burnt ends wrapped in a burrito
Heck yeah, dude.
and some onion rings?
Everyone knows the best part of barbecue is getting a bite of the crispy, blackened, succulent burnt ends.
That is a lot of.
This dish takes that flavor and cranks it up to the max. Built with a traditional tortilla and a spread of jalapeno popper cream cheese, crispy bacon, and Mexican cheese blend, it's like Tex-Mex had a baby with a hill country barbecue joint. If all that weren't enough, though, the whole thing is folded up and lightly fried and topped with barbecue sauce.
I love how you say lightly fried. Like,
They're just like,
it's
and
any
done.
different than deep fried.
Yeah.
Well, you can see part of it, so it
just
can't be
lightly
deep
fried.
fried.
I do like that they imply that Tex-Mex combined with more barbecue isn't still just Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
No, it's Tex-Mex with barbecue because Tex-Mex is already a thing. And
that's
then
what I'm-
adding barbecue to it would be like
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think it's like Tex-Mex.
Ruth's stuffed fried Mexicone.
Okay, what? Is that a waffle cone?
I hope not.
It looks like a tortilla.
Things taste better when they're on a stick or in a cone.
You can't quantify that.
I can't. This article can, apparently, though. This dish takes that concept to the flavors of Mexico. A tortilla is wound into a cone shape and stuffed with cilantro, lime rice, pico de gallo, queso fresco, salsa verde, and, of course, barbacoa. I'm not a huge fan of barbacoa, so
Okay.
if that was like chorizo, I'd be down.
I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah, no,
Maybe I
that's
just
true.
haven't had like real barbacoa.
Maybe we
You
need
know,
to try
I've
this
had-
cone.
We already got this sweet southern fried chicken Alfredo ball. That
Did you say Alfredo
yeah, I
twice?
said it twice. I said chicken Alfredo, and then I was like,
Alfredo ball.
oh well, I already said it. That's probably number one right now for me
So far, or out of this whole list that you've already
so
read?
far. I don't.
Okay,
I don't.
okay.
I briefly remember everything
Gotcha,
on this
gotcha,
list.
gotcha.
Texas cream corn casserole fritters.
Show me a pic. Okay, that's just like corn fritters,
Yeah.
but it's
Creamed
cream corn.
is one of those things many people love, but they might be blah 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 blah. I don't care about blah 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 blah. Creamed corn, cheddar cheese, and cornbread mix are all brought together and deep fried until golden brown and delicious. They're served with even more corn and with creamed corn creamed corn queso blanco dipping sauce.
That's a lot of corn, dude. But also, I'm kind of behind that.
Big red chicken bread.
Okay.
It's got sunglasses on it.
First, wait, is that a
It's a
donut?
donut.
Blending the two
I'm
categories.
nervous that you haven't said anything.
Blending the two categories of savory and sweet together, this dish aims to dethrone the mighty chicken and waffles with its combination of fried and sweet. Homemade big red soda flavored icing is slathered on a
What?
donut and topped with a deep fried chicken wing.
Big red
Soda.
soda.
Big red
Which
soda
is like what, I think
flavored
was
icing.
Strawberry?
I don't remember.
It's like
I don't drink
it's
it because I
it's
find
a
it
red
disgusting.
flavor. You know,
Oh,
you're not.
okay.
It's not quite cherry, but it's not really strawberry.
It's
either.
just kind of
it's
like
red.
if you taste
yeah.
it, like, yeah, this is
You're
red.
like, this is red.
Okay.
This is a red soda.
Yo, woof. That's a no for me, dog.
You know what's funny? Until you guys were like, "Is that a donut?" I literally thought that was part of the plate this whole time. Like, I've seen this picture like 3 times, and I was like, "Oh, I guess that is something else." Like, I thought it was just like what the
Yikers.
chicken was like sitting on. Deep fried Bayou fruit bites. This actually looks pretty good.
Okay.
What is the fried in
They're like
it? Okay.
beignets.
For those who want some kind of semblance to healthy eating, this is your dish.
Just fried food will
At
work.
the
I mean,
fair,
I don't.
anyways.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
don't
it says.
go to the
At the fair, anyway.
I don't go to the like.
Juicy wedges of fresh fruit are lightly coated and fried.
Okay, well, there. You first
Upon emerging from the fryer, they
Stop
are
it.
covered in a house-made syrupy confection and garnished with fresh whipped cream, caramel, and a choice of toppings from chocolate chips to walnuts and pecans.
when you deep fry fruit,
Yeah.
it sort of negates what fruit is.
I like how they wrote like upon emerging. From
Yeah,
the fryer.
like the fruit
This is some
itself is
weird
like, I'm done in
narrative,
here,
like-
and like gets out itself.
Coming out from its
After the
cocoon.
rite of passage, then the fruit then undergoes
Oh
7 long years of testing.
Holy crap.
Flamengo tango.
Show me. What?
Okay.
Ew, what is that thing next to it?
If you've ever been to a fruiteria, I don't know what that is, and wondered where are all the deep fryers, your question is answered here. This dish takes the iconic mango twist and deep fries it. The whole thing is then coated in a sticky and sweet citrus glaze, topped with whipped cream, and paired with strawberry mango sorbet. That's strawberry mango sorbet. This is the mango twist.
Okay.
That's deep fried.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. Peanut butter cup snooky.
Why is it Snooky?
Maybe it's not quite a cookie.
An odd name for a simply delicious sounding dish. This item brings a bit of simplicity to the State Fair food lineup. A fresh and warm peanut butter cookie is served a la mode with caramel, chocolate drizzle, and the expected cherry. It seems like really easy to make it to the final
Expected
10.
cherry.
You know, like that made it. Okay, this last one.
Oh no.
I would get the Southern Fried Chicken Fettuccine Alfredo ball and then follow it up maybe in an hour with this
Oh no.
dessert. This is the last item. Quick fried black gold truffles. This is the picture.
It's just a whole truffle.
It looks amazing. If you have ever made cake balls, get ready for its more mature, cooler cousin, the black gold truffles. This is weird. These little balls of sweetness start with crushed chocolate cookies, cream cheese, and white chocolate chips. They're rolled into spheres, coated in a light breading of vanilla wafers, cinnamon, and nutmeg, then flash fried until crunchy on the outside and just tender on the inside. Then they're topped with whipped cream, chocolate syrup, and the red cherry. That sounds amazing.
I guess. I don't know what a truffle is, really.
It's just like chocolate.
It's just
it's
like
a chocolate
chocolate.
truffle, not like a,
so
not like a pig truffle.
The mushroom.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
No, like it's
just like a
um,
chocolate truffle.
Yeah, I
but
was
has
waiting
like
for you to be like, and then we implant the actual black truffle.
Mushroom.
Yeah.
No.
You know what? That sounds very good, but
It
you know what
sounds
bothers me about
really
it?
good.
It's the fact that they keep saying the word sphere. That's at least the second time that they said the word sphere in this article.
I think it's
And they're
just
like-
a nicer word than just saying, then we make it into this sticky ball.
But if you say like if it's a ball and then we roll it into a sphere, it's like, well, yeah, duh.
Well, they didn't say that,
Oh.
did they?
I think you could probably get through like one half bite of that before
That's
you get
probably gonna be
diabetes.
so. Yeah, I was just gonna say it's gonna be so rich. Like Amon is challenging you right now. Like,
I'm just
Let's
saying
see.
we might have to go and see the finalists ourselves.
Yeah, I
I'm
will
for
say
it.
I'm like
I've never been to a Texas State Fair.
you've never been to the State Fair?
I've been to a Colorado State Fair. My friend bought a peacock there one time.
I'm sorry.
seems.
You've told me this
Good.
story before.
Yeah, it's a great story.
I'll tell it
It's real
sometime.
short.
I will say
My
I'm
friend
a
went
little,
to a state fair, saw a peacock for sale, bought it. That's the end of the story.
That's amazing.
and within 6 weeks it was dead.
No, it's still at their house.
Lead.
Yikes.
They have a lot of animals.
Oh, that helps, I guess. I don't know. I have dogs.
They have dogs too. They don't. It's not like a farm. It's still like a regular house.
Weird.
They just have a peacock in their yard. He's very loud.
Cool.
You cannot intrude on their house. He's better than a watchdog in that sense.
More beautiful than a watchdog.
Yes, because he's a male. The female ones are very dull looking.
Oh.
They're brown.
Oh.
Only the male ones are pretty. That's how you attract a mate. Peacock facts with them on.
You stole my bit.
That was your bit?
Yeah.
No, my bit was random animal facts.
Oh. Well,
What?
good segue.
Did you know that young goats will pick up accents from each other? And that's all I'm going to tell you.
What? How? What?
Young goats
Yep.
will pick up accents from each other.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. That's all I read.
Have
What
you
does
ever
that
stared
even
into the
mean?
eyes of a goat?
Yeah, this creepy dude. Because
It's
they got
horrifying.
they got like the Tetris piece
Yes.
pupil.
I didn't really know that until I went out and saw the goats here,
Mm-hmm.
and I like looked at it, and it's horrifying, disgusting devil face,
Yeah.
and realized, oh my god, you're horrifying.
Spawn of Satan.
And they have like eyelids like in
Yes.
their
In
eye.
their
It's
eyes.
really gross.
I thought it was creepy. I thought it was creepier when
I do that
we
with a
were
British
at-
accent.
What was it? Festival of Lights, and they had those sheep outside.
Four-horned
The
sheep.
four-horned sheep.
Yeah, that was really weird, dude.
creepy, dude.
Yeah, I did not know
I
that
was
was a
like,
real thing.
they don't grow that way, and they're like, oh yeah, they do. They just clip them, and you're like, why are they going backwards?
They got
so
four
it's like
horns.
forwards, and they're
Uh-huh.
like, also have these extra horns.
In case
Just
I
these
just
ones
stab
break
Mess
you
with
more.
you guys, just in case you
Yeah.
want to get headbutt from the side.
Woof.
Nature's crazy.
Nature is crazy.
Nature is insane.
But what the accent?
I don't
know.
Is
from
it
their
Billy
like
Goat?
their baws. Their
Like a
baws
billy
are
goat have a different
different.
accent than a mountain goat
Pick
that
up
has a
accents.
different accent than like
Are they
a
more like
bighorn sheep.
dialects? Like different regions have.
I wasn't going
different
to expound on
accents?
this, but here now we're going.
Well, you can't just say a thing.
Well, that's what was my
And
plan
then not
was.
say more things.
We keep talking until I find it. Okay,
Man.
so for our the ability to learn range of sound and modify them according to the environment. Some birds, whales, dolphins, bats, elephants, and the most extreme example is
Goats.
us. Humans. No, humans have
Close.
accents, you ding dong.
Goats.
The goat calls reveal that these animals are capable of a rudimentary form of vocal learning. So they just have vocal communication.
my
Like
accent?
they like
I can't.
evolves over time. So they make like goats are social animals that live in groups and make contact calls to one another to stay in touch.
That's cool.
Just trying to stay in touch, you know.
Man, that's crazy though.
Y'all, we did it.
We did it.
We did it. That's
We did
another one. That's another one.
Stop
Another one
talking
in the books.
at the same time.
And
the same words.
stuff. No. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a good friend. You are a good friend. If
You
you're
are
out
all
there
good
listening.
friends.
All the good friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is this our 6th recording?
6th or 5th. This is our 6th.
Yeah.
We just went over this yesterday.
Oh, yeah, we have
Sixth,
a little bit of
fifth.
momentum. That feels
Sixth,
good.
fifth, sixth.
Just don't leave us again where we can't record.
Yeah.
Right. That was
course-
like agonizing.
Of course, technically
'cause-
you were here. We were just teaching children.
No. It
true.
was definitely Simon's
yeah.
fault.
I mean, I was
don't
also-
just swing
yeah.
this around.
Yeah, we've got good momentum, and I'm proud of us. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of everyone out there.
We made it.
And remember, if you fail,
It's okay.
it's okay.
Everyone fails all the time.
Look at the
Everyone's-
Leaning Tower of
Yep,
Pisa.
constantly failing.
Also, fun fact: if you want to know what a candle tastes like,
Don't do it.
Don't. They don't give us money.
Yeah, we're not
Don't
sponsored.
sponsor them. Don't
I'm not,
sponsor
I'm
them.
not sponsoring them.
Don't give away free advertisements.
Don't drink drinks that are labeled birthday cake flavored because they will taste like a candle.
Yeah,
unless they're
it's gross.
cream based.
And that's gonna do it.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye.